When you're picking out a hybrid, you're looking for three things. You're looking for distance, you're looking for something that has accuracy and is easy to control, and you're looking for something that when the ball hits the green, it's going to land nice and soft and stay on that green. I got a golf club today, it's called the Maxvert Hybrid, that I want to show you. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for VLS Golf TV, and the hybrid for a lot of golfers is probably the most important club in their bag because they are using it, this might be you, are using it multiple times during a round of golf. You're using it on maybe short par fours, you're using it on long par threes, you're probably even using it on long par fours into the green. And so it's a club that's got to have a lot of different uses and utilities to it to really work for you. So the Maxvert here, a couple things I want to share with you. Number one, it comes in two lofts, an 18 degree and a 22 degree. Now the 18 is designed more for when you need a second shot on a par 5. You need to get that ball down the fairway, you need to get it going, but you got to have some control. You're looking for really distance, or maybe a short par 4 that you got to lay it up and you don't want to hit your driver. The 22 is a little bit better designed for shots into the green. Okay, par 3s, par 4s, things like that. It's going to come in a little bit higher, land a little bit softer, and hold that green. Now, when the Maxvert was designed, when we put this together, we came at it from a different angle. Traditional hybrids, they're designed generally for high-speed golfers. But with the Maxvert, we had you in mind. Maybe a little bit of a slower club head speed, still love golf, probably play more golf than you ever did in your entire life right now because you're at an age where you can do that, but also has certain characteristics. Maybe you don't move like you used to move, you don't swing as fast like we discussed already. So we put a couple design features in there, and I want to go through those with you and show you how easy the Maxvert is to hit. So first of all would be the shaft angle. So one of the things that I'm a big believer in is that as the clubs get longer, the shafts get too flat. Now when they get flat, then just being flat isn't terrible, but what happens is when a shaft angle gets flat, golfers instinctively start swinging the club more around their body. And I've just seen way too many golfers, as they get older, have this really flat, short backswing, and they got no rhythm, no tempo, no distance. And it's really the whole core concept of the vertical line swing system of swinging the club more straight back and up like the all-time greats did. So when we designed and when we set out to build this golf club, we made the shaft angle a little bit more vertical. So you'll notice when I set it down, it sits a little bit more like upright. Now that allows me to get a little bit closer to the ball, but also makes it easier to swing my lead arm more straight back and more up. Let me go ahead and hit one right here. Okay, God, the club looks just great sitting down on the ground behind the golf ball. Here we go. Man, I mean, it just high, launch, straight, and it just rockets off the face. I've got the 18 degree right here, and that thing is really hot off the face. So that was feature number one. A little more vertical shaft angle so you can get closer, more control, get length to your swing, which is going to give you more club head speed, i.e. distance. Now a couple other things that we did. We made it a little bit shorter because a lot of golfers, when they struggle, they feel like they don't have control over the club head. They don't know where it's at. It's moving around. So by making the shaft a little bit shorter, it allows them once again to feel like they have more control. This is one of the reasons why a lot of golfers are replacing their fairway wood, their 3 and their 5 wood, with the Maxvert hybrid because they can control it better. It gets up in the air easy and they can control it but still hit it a long way. So those are a couple things in terms of the shaft. And it comes in 5 different shafts. You got ladies, senior plus, senior, regular, stiff. So really got something there for everybody. Now, kind of building upon that concept, we've got here what we call the shaft shift. This is a new technology, but basically what happens here is that we take the shaft and we move it over a little bit, okay? And what it does is it just makes getting the club face squared up and find the center of the face a lot easier. As these clubs get longer and they get bigger, it makes it more difficult to control. By taking the shaft and shifting it over a little bit so it's a little bit more towards the center of the face, it really makes that a lot easier. Now I gotta show you one of my favorite ones because it's the simplest one, and it's this red line on top. There's 3 lines on top, 2 white, 1 red, and we call this the fairway finder. Now let me go ahead and so what you're gonna notice is when I set this down here, first of all, it just sits great, but I'm just gonna take that red line, we call it the fairway finder, and I'm just literally pointing it right out there towards the clubhouse, and now I know that the club face is aimed perfectly. Let's go ahead and hit a shot here. I got my club face aimed at the clubhouse. Oh yeah. Nice, high, and right there. So aiming, believe it or not, I mean, if you don't aim the club face, how are you going to expect to hit the ball straight? And when you think about it, if you take a look at your putter, your putter's got a line on it. Why doesn't your hybrid have a line on it? I mean, it's one of the most, because it makes it easier to aim. So we put that line on there. We like to call it the fairway finder. I got two other things I want to share with you, because one of the reasons a lot of golfers struggle with their hybrid is they feel like they can't get the ball in the air. All right, so we put on this, what we call the straight leading edge. If you pick up your traditional hybrid and you look at it, you're going to see more roll or curve to the bottom. Okay, with this straight leading edge, what that does is it changes the interaction between the bottom of the club, okay, and the ground. It makes aiming easier, but it helps that leading edge get underneath the ball so the ball naturally launches up in the air. So we call it the straight leading edge. It's something unique to our particular hybrid right here, but the end result is it's easier to get up in the air. Now, the bottom here, we got the perimeter payload. The perimeter payload is something similar to the shaft shift where it helps square the club face. Let's go ahead and hit another shot. And with that extra weighting in the heel, I don't have to try to release it. Right? I don't have to try to rotate it because of the shaft shift, the perimeter payload. I just swing it, okay? Because as the clubs get longer, oh, that was the best one of the day right there. As the clubs get longer, it makes it more difficult to square up that club face. So the perimeter payload with the extra weight in the heel makes closing that toe down and squaring the face a lot easier. Now I got one other thing I got to share with you here, and this is probably the most important. On the bottom here, we call this the ground hugging sole, all right? Because when people struggle with their hybrids, they feel like they gotta lift the ball up in there. We talked a little bit about that with that straight leading edge, but with the ground hugging sole, you don't have to worry about chunking it. Because literally, as I just set, it just sits so good. As I just set it down there, it just literally glides through the turf. Okay, it just kind of what we call hugs the ground, so I don't have to worry about chunking it or chili dipping it. Let's go ahead and hit one more here. So I've got that vertical shaft, okay, a little shorter so I can get closer. Aiming is super easy now. I just point the fairway finder down the line. That straight leading edge improves the interaction with the ground, okay, that ground hugging sole. Here we go. Oh man, that thing is a rocket off the face. So when you're looking at hybrid, you got three things you need. You gotta have distance, right? You gotta have something that's easy to hit. That's why you love your hybrids, because they're easy to hit. But you gotta have something that launches high, comes in soft, so that ball stays on the green. The Maxvert hybrid, it was designed differently. It was designed from the start with you in mind, the experienced golfer, the everyday golfer, whatever you want to call yourself, not the tour pro. These features right here that I just described make this club the best club on the market in our opinion to help you enjoy your hybrids and, more importantly, enjoy this great game.